Well, good evening, everybody. How are you? Good first day? Yeah, good. It's true, I've been at the Asia Society for about 8 days, and I'm really, really happy to be here with you. I have spent much of the past 7 years on the front lines of global challenges. A couple of years ago, I was in Somalia 4 times, in drought and hunger zones around the world, about 90% of my time on airplanes and in the field. And one thing that really struck me in all those travels is how much the world looks to the United States for hope. How much people dream to come to the United States, and how much they enjoy meeting people from the United States. And I always thought, I wish everyone in our country knew what we represent to the world and our chance to do positive things in the world. We're in such a blessed position in the world right now. And so when my team told me that you have this conference here this week, I thought there's nowhere else I want to be but here with all of you who are doing such tremendous work. I just want to talk a little bit on the personal side. My father had many standards in life, but there was only one that you couldn't break, and that was respect for other human beings. And you were his daughter unless you disrespected anyone. And worst of all, if it was someone in a vulnerable position or less privileged. And so respect for everyone, whether it's the elevator operator or the garbage collector or friends or family or elders, was required. And this kind of led, I guess, to our family having a very global outlook. But my stepmother was from China. My sister married a man from Japan. My brother married a woman from Africa. My other sister married a man from Greece. My cousin adopted a baby from Cambodia. My sister adopted a baby from Russia. You can imagine our holidays. We had at the family table Christian, including Catholic, Protestant, which is a lot to handle, and then we have Muslim, Jewish, Confucian, Shinto, and I think pretty much everything. And I learned there everything I needed to know about global diplomacy. I also have a teacher who's been a sister who's been a teacher in Trenton, New Jersey for her entire career, and have been so inspired to see the work she's done there and the transformative power of teaching. And in part, that led me at the World Food Program, the World Food Program delivers about 30 billion meals to the world every year. And these are to people who wouldn't survive without those meals being delivered. But a big part of the work that I was very passionate about, and I think really became very known for pushing, was the need for school children to have a cup of food at school, at least a cup of food, so they can concentrate and they can learn. And I brought this cup here, which it became a very famous red cup because I used to carry it just in my purse for my own inspiration, because if you meet school children throughout many of the most challenged places in the world, this cup represents hope to them. And for many, it's their most precious possession. It cost, before the food crisis, about 10 cents to fill it. Afterwards, about 20 cents to fill this. But if a child has at least a cup of food in school, they can go to school and they can lift their head. They have enough energy to concentrate, because in many of the schools of the world, children come to school and they haven't had a meal, and it's very difficult. And so the power of this. But one thing that struck me in traveling, so I've been in schools all over the world, is no matter how challenged the child is, no matter how many days it's been since they've eaten, if you ask them what their hopes and dreams are, It's as if you're talking to kids in the most privileged places in the world. They're impassioned with their own vision to be a doctor or a pilot or a teacher or a president of a country. And it struck me that children really believe and are committed to being part of the global world, and no matter what their circumstances, envision being part of that. That's why I really feel that the leadership that all of you have shown and the examples that you've built here, I really love this idea of preparing American students, and hopefully this model will travel even farther for a global world. We know how integrated the world is. My children went to a school where 47 languages and dialects were spoken. They've gone to school in 3 countries. We know how important it is that children understand what the world is. But for nearly 10 years, you've been on the leading edge of the innovations and the reforms in the United States. And I just want to thank you for building not only a new idea, but also the credibility of this project. The fact that students in this country would be able to have a superior, globally focused education is really an idea whose time has come. And I've learned through our team here many of the outstanding efforts taking place throughout the network, so I jotted down a few that I just want to come back. And you may know all of these, but for me, they're just really remarkable and important to spread. First, the network's grown from 3 schools in the first year to now 35 schools in 8 states in the District of Columbia. And as diverse as this network is, it's amazing how consistent the results are. So nearly 90% of all students graduate on time in 4 years, which outpaces many other state and national graduation averages, as I understand it. And this year, the Global Learning Collaborative in New York City, where are you? People here from that? The Ogden International in Chicago, there. And also the Academy for Global Studies in Austin High School. Ooh. Each graduated their first senior class. Congratulations. I love the fact that travel is a part of the education. You know, we know the stories that not too long ago, I think the majority of leaders in our own Congress did not have passports to travel abroad. Very important to see the world and see our own country. And so I understand that the Austin High School took their entire senior class to Spain this year. Quite an accomplishment. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but congratulations. And building on a visit last year by the current president of China to the International Studies Learning Center in Los Angeles. Where are you? Woohoo! Yeah. Talk about being at the center of the global pulse. Which is one of the 3 original ISSN schools. It currently has 20 students and 3 teachers studying in China for the next month. Wow, very exciting. And these 2 schools and many other across the network understand the value of learning outside the school. And I've talked to a few students about how transformative these experiences are. Can I just have any of the schools who have had students travel, just raise your hands. This past, I mean, maybe that's all of you. They're fabulous. Give yourself a hand. Woo. So it's not only the travel, of course, but the curriculum and the experiences and the projects that go on day in and day out, and I've been asking about those. I learned about one such project led by teacher Mary Courtney. Where are you? Woo! Can you stand up so we can see you? There she is. So at Rochester Early College International High School, has resulted in 4 very talented female students designing a research apparatus. I wasn't able to get a better definition than apparatus, so I'll just, but this apparatus, talk about an out-of-this-world program, is going into space this fall, and the design was selected among hundreds of submissions from across the United States, and it's going to be utilized by astronauts on the International Space Station. And then once completed, the research results and their apparatus are going to return to Earth on the Russian space shuttle. How about that? Now, Tony, when you and Brandon and your team kind of envisioned this world and all of you began creating it, if we said this is going to connect to outer space and involve Russian spaceships and all of that, would you have believed it? No. But this is just one of many examples of the types of rigorous and authentic academic experiences that not only are engaging students, but helping create a better world. And could all of you from Rochester just stand up for a sec? I know there's a few more of you, so thank you. Okay, now I've also been hearing a lot about Ohio. So I think maybe the newest kid on the block in a way, because just 2 years ago, their ISSN didn't have any schools in Ohio, but since then, Ohio can now brag about the fact that it has the most ISSN schools of any state in the network. So their statewide collaboration has led to really outstanding opportunities that I've been hearing about, but including plans to run a statewide student-led conference next year. Very cool. And promoting student voice and developing their ownership of their learning is yet another hallmark of being one of the schools. So Ohio, where are you? Stand up, all you Ohio newbies. Wow. Well, I could really go on, and I think you're going to learn and share experiences, and I know I heard there was like 45 different workshops today. You're going to hear some great speakers. You already have been hearing from some. And I just want to say I really think this is a great example of everything that Asia Society stands for. The new premier of China has a saying that he uses, which is knowledge in action. And I think what you represent is not only an idea and ideal, but doing the hard work of building the curriculum, building the pathways, and creating the success story. We are so proud to be your partners in this. And I think it's the kind of example we can bring to the people that support our institution to say we're not only theoretically about building bridges, but we're literally building them through the type of work that happens in the ISSN network. I want to thank some of our staff on Asia Society, Neelam Chowdhury, who has overseen the entire conference. Are you here? Woo. Thank you, Neelam. And Appy Patankar. Yeah, thank you, Appy. And Ilaria Mazzocco. Thank you. And Grace Norman and Honor Mormon, Grace Norman and Honor Mormon, and Lisa Tyrrell, and Wendy Blankenberg, and of course Brandon and our Vice President of Education, Dr. Tony Jackson. Could you all stand up so we can thank you? Thank you. I just want to close by saying, just sitting at this table inspired me. I think you're going to hear from a few students tonight. I don't want to steal their thunder. But Eliza Cummings of the Denver Center for International Studies, I said, has this school made a difference, attending this school? Did it make a difference? Was it different than the education your friends were getting? And she said, there's a monumental difference. And she said many things that are worth repeating, and maybe she'll talk about them tonight, but she said, I had a voice in my school and in my education. And because I had a voice in it, I had a passion for my education. And her dream is to work on peace and conflict resolution between Rwanda and Uganda. I've spent a lot of time in Rwanda and Uganda. People are beautiful, but there's been not only a lot of bloodshed, but genocide there and tears there and tragedy there among some of the most beautiful landscape and people in the world. But what an amazing vision for someone from Colorado to dream about making a difference in a place like that. And then I talked to Felix Ruano, who's from the Ambassador School of Global Leadership in Los Angeles. He's going to Harvard. And I said, Felix, has anyone else in your family gone to Harvard? And he said, no one else in my family has ever gone to college. And I said, what are you going to do with your life? Very reasonable, right, for him to say, I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to break the cycle, I'm going to do all of that. You know what he said? He said, I want to go into social enterprise, non-for-profit. I want to make sure that other students have the experience I did and make sure they have access to it. So I'm sure that dream was in his heart well before he met the Ambassador School, but boy, congratulations, Mr. Principal and others who helped him realize that dream could exist in the world and be a dream that could become real. That's what you all are about. You're dream makers. I'm really proud to be your partner. I'm proud to be here. And I want to thank all of you and thank Tony and all of you for staying true to that vision. Thank you. Thank you.